everyone. Today we're gonna make some cold brew, and we don't need any of these fancy or expensive devices to do so. All we're gonna need is a mason jar. We're gonna get our water ready, we're gonna get our grind ready, we're gonna grind it coarse. We need it to steep anywhere from 12 to 72 hours. The extraction process is gonna take longer because the water is cold. Let's get to it. I'm gonna be using the Costa Rica Black Honey. We've been carrying this coffee here at Red Rooster for many years now. It is a staple for us. We really look forward to it every season that it arrives. Oscar and Francisca Chacon, the owners of the Las Lajas Mill in Costa Rica, are really the pioneers of black honey. Basically, it's a natural, but what's happening is the skin of the cherry is being removed and the seed is soaking and drying inside of the mucilage. The term honey kind of comes from the coloration that the green seed takes on once the drying process is complete. No honey is added into it, nothing is added into the coffee. It's really just that sticky mucilage that's kind of resemblance of honey and the coloration that the green seed takes on once the drying process is complete. Now, I'm using this as cold brew because this coffee is already fruity and acidic, bright, lively, and extremely delicious. Again, one of my favorites. But what I love about cold brew and a concentrated cold brew is that because we're going to be brewing with cold water, we can kind of mute that acidity a little bit and make it more balanced and mellow, still sweet and still have all of those juicy characteristics that we love, but it's not gonna have that high sharpness, that intensity that we would normally get brewing this with hot water. Okay, so first things first, I'm gonna grind my coffee again to a coarser grind, and then we are going to pour cold water over top of the coffee grinds and gonna let it steep for about 12 hours. I've ground my coffee, looks about like coarse breadcrumbs. I'm going to be using a 1:4. Cold brew ratios are usually typically anywhere from 1 to 8, 1 to 1, 1 to 2, 1 to 3, 1 to 4, 1 to 5, 1 to 6, 1 to 7, 1 to 8 parts water. It's really just personal preference, what you're trying to achieve, how much you want your coffee to be concentrated, how much you want to be able to dilute that concentrate after the brew is finished with using milk or water or ice. I'm very picky about my cold brew, mainly because cold brew is not my favorite way to drink coffee, but every now and again I do get a hankering, I get a craving. This is a true 1:4, so I have about 300 grams of coffee. So if I'm doing 1:4, that'll be about 1,200 milliliters of water. And again, it's really as simple as pouring the coffee grinds into the jar that you will be steeping your coffee in and pouring cold water over top of the grinds and steeping it anywhere from 12 to 24 to 72 hours. Again, personal preference and what exactly you're trying to achieve. Hot water speeds up extraction and you're brewing those fats, acids, and sugars. They're getting pulled out of the coffee immediately, and that's why you use hot water. So with cold brew, this is cold water, obviously, so extraction rate is much slower, and that's why you really need to steep for longer. I already pre-measured this, so I know this holds about 1,200 milliliters. And obviously there's going to be a lot of air pockets, so we're gonna need to give this a really good stir before we seal it up. Just wanna make sure everything's saturated. All right, so the amount of time that you're going to be allowing this to steep, again, is personal preference. I'm gonna be doing 12 hours. Because I am using a 1:4, which is a lower ratio, this doesn't need as long to steep. If you're gonna be using a higher ratio, maybe like a 1:8, maybe you go to 72 hours. I really wouldn't go past that. Again, if it tastes good to you going past that time, great. But when you start to go too long, you're gonna start extracting some unwanted bitter carbs, plant fibers, just like you would if you were brewing it with hot coffee and the brew is taking too long. Okay, so I went ahead and pre-steeped a batch prior to making this video. So this has been steeping for 12 hours. I will point out that around hour 6, I opened it up and I gave it another stir. It would be great if you had a strainer of some kind, even like a cheesecloth. If you have a French press nearby, you could use that to strain it. That way you're not drinking a mouthful of grinds. But it's important to note that the coffee grounds are going to retain a portion of the water. I think it's about half. I think it's going to retain about 600 milliliters of the water. So you're really going to get maybe 5 cups, if my math is right, of strong coffee. But again, this is a concentrate, so it's up to you to pinpoint what you like in terms of strength and taste, and how you want to dilute that strength and extraction. What I'm gonna do is strain it first, pretty much whatever you have available. A pitcher works just great. I'm using a pasta colander. Again, you can use a cheesecloth, you can use your French press if you have one of those. Whatever you have available, that's what makes this so easy. Just for shits and giggles, I'm going to weigh this. I think it retains about half the amount of water, and I'm just curious if I'm right about that. Okay, almost 900, so not quite half. Got a little bit more out of it than I thought I would, but that's great. So again, I'm gonna just go ahead and taste this and test its concentration, because I base that on how much ice or milk I wanna use. I mean, if I'm getting technical and I want proper optimum brew, I could weigh everything, which is an option. You can do that. You could check the TDS if you have a refractometer. Most people don't, and that's okay. So we're just gonna use our palette. It's pretty concentrated, which is good. That's what I wanted. I wanted it to be pretty intense so that I could add both ice and milk, and maybe even a flavoring to it. I mean, 'tis the season, it's summertime. Iced, sweet beverages are, you know, always good for this time of year. Could weigh this and have like kind of like a proper diluted ratio, but this isn't hot, so this isn't going to actually like dilute it. The milk will, the ice might a little bit. I'm just gonna eyeball it, because I think that's what's so great about this kind of brew method. Everybody's palate's different, and I love that about this, because you can control it while you're actually making your drink. Cheers. That's really, really delicious. And what's so great about adding milk with this coffee, sometimes when I brew the Costa Rica Black Honey or a natural or any kind of fermented coffee, black, it doesn't pair well with milk because the acidity is too high, and it almost kind of like gives it this curdled tanginess that I don't like at all. But making it as a cold brew, because we were able to kind of control the amount of acidity going into this, adding the milk really just helps balance it even further, cut the bitterness out even more. But I'm not even really tasting any bitterness at all, if possible, because that's what's so great about cold brews. You're able to really, really control the bitterness and acidity and find this sweet spot, which I love. Again, can't recommend this coffee enough, especially when it comes to cold brew. I always look forward to this coffee every single year. The Chacon family whips out a lot of different kind of honeys, black honeys, yellow honeys, red honeys, and it's always a joy when we get them in. They get better and better every year. It's always really exciting to kind of see the difference between every season. Again, if you're a fan of this coffee, but you want something cold, give this recipe a try. Anyone can do it. Try it with a little bit of milk. Try it with a little bit of ice. I think you'll find that it balances everything and makes a really delicious, refreshing coffee for these hot summer months. Let me know how you're brewing coffee at home, your cold brew coffee at home. Let us know in the comments below. We'd love to hear from you. Thanks. Bye.